What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. Thank you for stopping by. And there's some breaking news that came out earlier with regards to Jimmy. They're saying a body was found. They're saying it's him. Passed away. I guess they don't suspect foul play. Let me show you some this video here. A couple of videos. I think his body was found nearby too. And it made me think about the Dominican Republic story from last year that we covered. The girl that went missing over there. I was talking to my mother about it too, because it was almost somewhat similar. Like the last year, the girl went out with her friends and her friends left her behind with some guy, and her and the guy were hanging out by the beach. And he said some story about there was like a strong wave. I guess they were in the water. He grabbed her and saved her, but then he started vomiting sea salt or whatever, and he didn't really look back, and he thought she walked away and made it, so he fell asleep and woke up and left, and she was never seen again. And then her parents are like, when people were investigating and looking into it, her parents were like, oh, you know what, we just want to move on from this and people to leave this alone. It was really weird. And so everybody just kind of left it alone, and her body was never found to this day. And so now we got this story of Jimmy, and they're saying his body was found.
Are now searching for 20-year-old Jimmy Gracey. The University of Alabama student was last seen early Tuesday morning, leaving a beachfront nightclub in Barcelona, Spain. Police there say they're looking for him at sea and on the ground. Jimmy's family says he didn't return to his Airbnb and has not been heard from since. One of his fraternity brothers on Fox this morning.
Jimmy's a great guy, upstanding character. He serves as a mentor in our chapter to a lot of the younger guys. He is currently our chaplain, so he guides a lot of our brothers on their journey in their faith. We're heartbroken, but we're keeping our heads held high and remaining hopeful.
Garrett Tenney is in Elmhurst, Illinois, where Jimmy's family is from. Garrett.
Yeah, Harris, the area around that nightclub where Jimmy Gracey was last seen has become a big focus of this investigation. It is right along the beach in the Mediterranean Sea in Barcelona. And you can see in these pictures from Fox Digital that they are searching all along the shoreline and looking underwater for any signs of the missing American student. Sources close to the investigation tell the Spanish newspaper El Periódico that a witness saw Jimmy walking towards the sea early Tuesday morning, and that this morning, police found his wallet floating in the water.
So they saw him walking towards the sea. So those reports that, like, okay, the friends had left him there. I guess he wanted to stay. Reportedly, he was seen with some American brunette woman. And then somebody supposedly had stolen his phone. They were arrested, stole his phone, and they got the phone back. But I guess they didn't have anything to do with his disappearance. They just stole his phone. And then this morning they were talking about that his wallet was found by the water, in the water. His wallet was found in the water. And then now there was a body. I had been hearing about this body for a little while, about like 2 hours. Like 2 hours ago, I was hearing about the body, but I didn't see any confirmation. And then I saw confirmation, but I was like, I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'll come back and cover it. And it really made me think of that girl, man, Sudishka, I think her name is, in Dominican Republic, and just these spring break outings and, you know, parties and hanging out with friends and friends leaving other friends behind. And, you know, or a lot of people talk about Riley Strain too, out of Tennessee. Riley Strain was with friends drinking, friends left him behind, and he turns up dead in the water, you know.
Early Tuesday morning, and that this morning police found his wallet floating in the water. Police also recovered Jimmy's cell phone when they arrested a guy who happened to have it. It's not clear if he had stolen it or just found it, and police aren't saying if he was involved in the disappearance, but investigators are using the phone to try to pinpoint Jimmy's location based on where the phone had been the night he went missing. The last time his friends saw him was around 3 a.m. Tuesday morning when they were leaving the Shoko nightclub nightclub. Jimmy stayed behind, and no one has seen or heard from him since. Friends are now trying to retrace his footsteps, plastering the area around the club with these missing person flyers. The family tells me Jimmy's dad is now in Barcelona. He is in touch with police, while Jimmy's mom and his 4 younger siblings are back here at home praying for his safe return. Harris?
All right, Garrett, thank you very much. And focus with me now, Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor, retired NYPD inspector and attorney. You and I were just chatting off screen. First of all, it's spring break, so everybody is glued to the story. It's all over social media right now as people try to sleuth their own way forward. But as an inspector, are you impressed at all by how hard they're looking, ground and sea?
Yeah. I mean, look, Barcelona is a tourist town, right? So the stakes are high for them, and it's an American, and it does matter because right now, politically, things are a little tenuous between Spain and America. People, I am sure, in the mix all over the place here in Madrid, Barcelona, and even in D.C. are watching this, and they want it to go right now. This is going to rely a lot on the relationships that the State Department and the FBI legal attaché in Madrid have built. Why? You're going to need some American buy-in here, and that's not necessarily just because James is a U.S. citizen, but because of the phone issue. You're going to want to do everything you can to exploit that phone, and there are 2 things going on here. First of all, you want to be able to reach back to the American companies headquartered in California, do everything you can in terms of legal process to get into the cloud and do everything you can to kind of track the whereabouts, the movement of this kid, and what he might have been involved with, who he might have been involved with, who he was texting, did he get a phone number from somebody, et cetera. But also, they physically got the phone. That's a very, very big deal.
From somebody else.
From somebody else. Now, it's being portrayed as potentially an accident. They picked somebody up, he had the phone. That would be fairly miraculous. It feels to me like what they did was, okay, first lead they would have is he's got a phone, ping the phone is what they call. Let's find a phone. It comes back.
And so, and we'll talk more about it. I feel like everybody could probably have some kind of story, maybe, where they've been out or they've had too many drinks or your friends are just kind of like, bye, and you're kind of just on your own type of thing, which I don't know. I don't think that's good friends. At the same time, we all have our, we have to be responsible too for ourselves. But, like when it comes to Riley Strain, so Riley Strain was in Tennessee with his fraternity brothers, and him we saw actual video. I don't know if we're gonna see more video or any video of Gracey, but Riley Strain, you could see him. I mean, the guy was plastered. I don't know if he was on pills or something else besides drinking. It could be. I don't know if I never checked to see if they did it. Actually, it says it here. I guess it just says ethanol intoxication. That's what it says, ethanol. So the family's suing. Let me see here. For Riley, the family's suing. There was a lawsuit. Okay. The lawsuit filed March 21st, 2025, nearly 1 year after he was found dead, accuses Delta Chi fraternity of abandoning the 22-year-old student when he needed their help. In spring 2024, the complaint stated that Strain was first approached about attending the yearly formal Nashville, and they described him as often reserved, who didn't usually go with the typical fraternity flow. However, the complaint alleged that the brothers continued to pressure him about the formal and continued cajoling Riley to attend. So they're pressuring him to go, I guess. They said it was 32 fraternity members and allowing of excess drinking on the buses, not having proper chaperones, instilling a code into the fraternity members that encouraged or taught fraternity brothers to abandon one another instead of helping one another. Cause of death was noted as having been drowning and ethanol intoxication. His blood alcohol content was 0.228, nearly 3 times the legal limit. I thought they were going after like a restaurant too or something, or one of the bars, I thought. Strain and the group of fraternity brothers boarded 4 separate charter buses to Nashville. Strain boarding without a date. Beer and alcoholic Jello shots were said to have been provided on the buses, although it was supposed to be prohibited. And they also say that it says the fraternity members claim that within hours after they arrived, they noticed that Strain was acting unusual, having difficulty speaking, walking, and virtually incoherent. At that point, that's when somebody should be like, maybe you should go back to the hotel, bro. Maybe you should go like chill. There's times too where somebody's so gone, no matter what you tell them, they're not going to do what you tell them to. But at least you could try. But I'm sure in that kind of environment, the fraternity brothers, for them, it was probably funny. I wouldn't be surprised if they were laughing at him when they was going through all that stuff, because that's that kind of environment. So they said he was virtually incoherent. After being kicked out the bar, the suit alleged that Strain became lost, and rather than having the support of his brothers, Riley was abandoned and alone. That's what I heard too. While the fraternity brothers kept partying, so they left his ass and went on to party. Woo! We having a good time. Left his ass to fend for himself. One time, a long time ago, back in my crazy days, I remember I was partying at a friend's house, and I was gone. I shouldn't have been driving. I shouldn't have gone anywhere. And I went to leave. I didn't have my shoes on. I didn't have my phone. And I walked to my car, and I'm trying to get my keys and the door. I couldn't even get it in. A friend walks over, quote unquote, walks over. He's like, "Oh, let me help you." Puts the key in there. He's like, "All right, see ya." Bloop. And what should have been like 10 minutes to get home was like 3 hours. I was just like lost and going in circles. Horrible. So there's situations, again, I shouldn't have done that. I should have been more responsible. But at the same time, there's situations that somebody easily could be like, yo, maybe you shouldn't go. Or maybe why don't you just chill here? Obviously I don't have my phone. I don't have my shoes. Something's going on, In certain cases, there's a friend could easily be like, yo, just chill, man. Just chill out here for a while. Or why don't you just sleep here? Just sleep here. You can leave in the morning type of shit, Stuff like that. But in the fraternity environment, I'm sure these people are just made to like laugh, and they want to see you get shit faced, and the craziest thing that could happen to you, they want to see that, and they laugh and they enjoy it until somebody's dead. And then the next day they're like, "Oh my God, we're searching for our brother. No, what happened?"
To somebody, they find a person who has it. What are you doing with the phone? Obviously now you can reverse engineer, but here's the thing that's important. Google, which is generally the way you go with this, the Google Map app. They have dumped all of their geolocation stuff onto the phone. It used to be at Google. They put it all on the phone now. They don't want to be responsible for it, which means the best way to track him is the physical phone itself. And in this instance, we have a break. We got the phone.
So this is interesting. And you were just saying to me off camera again that it's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah.
This particular police department, the Catalan police. What would they need to be doing at this point? Because that window, if it's short in the United States, I'm going to imagine it's even shorter abroad.
Yeah, party town, and it's an American abroad who doesn't have a lot of contacts there. He's there reportedly to see friends. Look, they're very clearly pulling out all the stops, and obviously their thoughts went right to the water. And the other reporting is that the wallet was found in the water. Now, there's significant aspects of it there. Is there money in the wallet? Are the credit cards in the wallet? If the credit cards and the money is there, you start to lose robbery as a motive, and then you have to say to yourself, unfortunately, is he physically in the water? Or did somebody rob him and throw a wallet they didn't have any use for into the water?
It's interesting. I often will hear you say, well, what do we know about him before he went on this trip? We were hearing a little bit from Garrett Tenney's reporting. He serves a chapter as both chaplain, his fraternity chapter is both.
Well, the bank, too, with Riley, the bank's really steep. They showed videos where, like, it's like this. Like, it's just, you slip and fall, you don't see it. You're going to go rolling down, tumbling down.
Both chaplain and one of the philanthropy chairmen, demonstrating a true commitment to faith, his brothers, and his community. Theta Chi International Fraternity has been a regular communication with federal lawmakers, the University of Alabama, and chapters, including those who remain in Barcelona, searching tirelessly for Jimmy. That is part of the statement that was given to us from the family.
Okay, let me play this clip now. Body found. It's really too bad for that family.
This is the Will Kane Show. I'm Lawrence Jones in for Will. We begin with a Fox News alert. And what could be a major update in the search for missing University of Alabama student Jimmy Gracey. Spanish police are now saying they found a lifeless body in the water this afternoon amid a search that has spanned air, land, and sea. This just in, the Associated Press has identified the body as Jimmy. This after Gracey's phone was recovered during an arrest on a third-party person, and his wallet was reportedly found in the water. It was last seen Tuesday around 3 a.m. at a waterfront nightclub
where Airbnb is located. You can see the Airbnb, Shoko nightclub, wallet found near the beach. And they've also posted where his body was found. There's a picture. Fox has really been on top of this story. They've been posting a lot of like the pictures on scene. You can like see here, they're saying this is an overhead view of the Port Olímpic Marina, shows the approximate location of recovery of the body of Jimmy Gracey. Police recovered the body of 20-year-old University of Alabama student in the water between the sailboat on the left and the floating blue dock. So right around here, body was found. It's incredible that they were able to find him because, I don't know, sometimes these stories, if they're in the water, you never see them again. You may never find a body again. You're lucky. It's a horrible situation to be able to even put him to rest. I keep thinking about that girl in the Dominican Republic. And the whole family is just so weird to me. The whole Dominican Republic. I don't know if that's like a culture thing or something. I don't know. They're just like, I guess they don't want to deal with it anymore. They just said, move on. For everybody, like, she's still missing. Move on. The family saying, move on. Like, okay. Odd. Never found missing. Dive teams found human remains in the area as part of a days-long search Thursday evening. A short time later, the Mossos de Esquadra, the Catalan regional police force overseeing the investigation, confirmed they belonged to Gracey. I'm sure Spain doesn't want this either. It's, bad publicity. They want to make sure, investigate this, bad for tourism if it was some foul play type of thing. The odd thing too is still the person that stole the phone, the third party. So the person had nothing to do with this. They just robbed his ass. You know what I'm saying? I guess it could happen. If he had his phone and he wasn't robbed of his phone, would he have been able to communicate with somebody for help? It was robbed. What are the chances? Robbed? It's possible. Pickpocketed. GHB. Yeah, GHB is something too. On GHB, people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, it could happen unknowingly too. The date rape drug. But some people take it on purpose too to have a good time. They take small amounts, but you could easily overdose on it. I'm not saying that that's what he took, but it's just strange to me too, these stories about these people that drink and then go to the water. I mean, I could see the appeal of like, all right, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go swimming. Whatever. We had a drink, feeling good, going to go cool down. But
club in Barcelona, Spain. Gracey was on a spring break trip with his friends like so many other college kids do this time of year. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney is in Elmhurst, Illinois. This is where Gracey is from. Good evening, Garrett.
Yeah, Lawrence, well, moments ago, a police spokesman in Barcelona confirmed that they have, in fact, confirmed that the lifeless body that they recovered does belong to this young man who has been lost for the last 2 days in this desperate search for him. This area where they found the body, it is right next to the nightclub Shoko, where Jimmy was last seen. He was visiting friends on spring break there. Police dive teams have been searching in the water right offshore there all day. And after a witness reportedly said he saw Jimmy walking towards the water after leaving the club early Tuesday morning, and after sources close to the investigation told a local paper that police found the American student's wallet floating in the water. This evening, Fox Digital reports that police divers went into the water after a port worker waved them down. They had a stretcher and a body bag, and after about 10 minutes, when they came back up, the body bag was was filled.
Damn. And I wonder, I mean, was it just alcohol in his system? Was there something else in there? Did somebody drug him? You know, my mother was telling me, because we were talking about different stuff, and I was telling her about this, and we were talking about the previous story with the lady in Dominican Republic. And she was telling me a story too, where my family went on this trip. It might have been Dominican Republic. I don't know where they went. And it was like one of those all-inclusive hotels, and, you know, like the pool, and there's like a bar at the pool type of thing. And I think my sister had gotten a drink, and then she like disappeared for a while. My mother was like looking for her, and she found her in the bathroom, like sick, you know. And my sister doesn't drink like that. She doesn't drink a lot. She's just like very social, whatever. I almost wonder if they put something in there, but my mother went and like got her and like stayed with her, and it was just, the whole thing was just strange, you know. So you never know, especially when you're overseas, man. Like, to, you know, to have somebody there in case, you know, some shit goes down or whatever the situation is, you could be incapacitated, you know.
Gracey family is not commenting on these developments, but they shared a statement with us saying, in part, "We are so grateful for the kindness and concern that has been shown for our family during this incredibly difficult time. We have made the decision to pause media interviews at this time to focus on being together and caring for one another. Thank you for respecting our privacy."
And she wasn't able to do anything. Like, they went back to the hotel room, and like she just slept until the next day. It was so crazy. And she's like, doesn't drink, you know, at all. Like, just very, very. So, I mean, I don't know. You never know when you go out to these places, you know, what you're encountering, what you're drinking, especially overseas, man. I'd be worried about the fake alcohol that they have that's killing people sometimes.
And holding our family in your thoughts and prayers. We will share updates if and when we are able. Jimmy is the oldest of 5 kids. He has been an honors student at the University of Alabama, where he was a chaplain in his fraternity. His fraternity brothers told us this: he's the guy that goes out of his way to be there when someone needs it.
Damn,
and now
that's sick, yo. And so the one time that he needed somebody to be there for him, were all these people that probably partying. Or back at the hotel, I guess.
Now that is confirmed, we are waiting to hear an update from police on the investigation after reports that surveillance videos showed Jimmy leaving the club with another individual. We are waiting to find out if that individual was at all in any way involved in Jimmy's disappearance, or if anyone else was, and how it is that he ended up in that water early Tuesday morning. Lawrence?
All right. Thanks so much, Garrett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
Hate for Americans in Spain is high. Revenge's motive is likely. I didn't even know there was a problem until the reporter said it. I didn't know that Spain, and I gotta look into that. What's the problem there? Left to his own devices. Somebody said that reportedly saw him walking towards the water, and that's it. It's like every year we have a story like this. Now it feels like every year there's some type of story overseas, spring break.
They are trying to identify who it is right now, which has been reportedly have been seen.
That's just a shame.
Breaking news out of Barcelona on the search for a missing University of Alabama student. 20-year-old Jimmy Gracey was visiting friends in Spain this week when he went missing around 3 a.m. Tuesday morning from a beachfront nightclub. We've just learned that a body has been found in the waters by Spanish search teams who've been diving and searching by boat and air. News Nation Live anchor and senior correspondent Laura Engel joins us now with the latest. Laura, this is not news anyone wants to hear.
Oh, this is just terrible news, Nick. We're just getting this update within the last few minutes that divers.
And, you know, hours ago I had posted, and there was a report that came out. I posted on Facebook that investigators were looking at this as a possible drowning scenario. And they say that divers involved in the operation say conditions are extremely difficult, with the visibility just being under 40 centimeters, 16 inches in the water. You can't see more than 6 inches in front of you. So they were already suspecting this earlier. some type of drowning.
Divers have recovered a body in this very area where Jimmy Gracey went missing. But as you mentioned, police have yet to confirm the identity of the person that was pulled from the water by divers today. So you can imagine the time that that's going to take. This has just happened. Jimmy Gracey, as you mentioned, went missing on Tuesday in Barcelona, Spain. Last seen leaving a beachside nightclub after spending the night out with his fraternity brothers on this spring break trip. The details of what happened next still remain unclear. Trying to drill down on what happened here because we've got these reports, Nick, that he was seen with another person leaving the bar. Unclear who that person is. We told you last hour that divers have been in the water searching for Jimmy Gracey near where he vanished. We have reached out to the police in Barcelona for comment. We have not heard back on the new development, only in the terms that they say that there was a body, but they just can't tell us anything more at this moment. And again, as we are continuing to work the story, we have reached out to many people, including the University of Alabama. They released a statement today saying that they are keeping Jimmy and his family at the forefront of their thoughts, and their staff are in direct communication with the family to offer every support and assistance as possible, and asking anyone with information to contact local authorities. Again, as we take a look at this map, we know that he was out. There were reports that a wallet was found, that his phone was found. All of those details really need to be confirmed by local authorities. We're in contact with Spanish News, a Spanish newspaper there as well, with reporters. We've been going back and forth all day working to confirm some of these details.
Yeah, the Spanish News had it first. Somebody on X had tagged me a couple hours ago, and they were like, "Oh, they found the body and all this stuff." And I wasn't too sure about it. I didn't see it being reported anywhere. And then I saw one Spanish article talking about it before everybody else was, and then it was like confirmed. So I don't know, man. I guess you have to have like talks with your kids. I don't know what kind of conversation you have with them, but especially going overseas, man. I'd be paranoid going overseas and trust it. Young guy. I wonder if they'll be able to get some more pieces of the puzzle, video. Was he seen with anybody else? Was he hanging out with somebody? Who's the supposed brunette that he was seen with? Was that just somebody he was talking to and then they went their own ways? What happened there? Did somebody give him something? Was he rolling Molly? Anything, nothing. Sometimes when you're rolling a Molly, you wanna get into the go for a nice swim. This feels amazing. Going for a swim with Molly, like on Molly. Maybe you want to go for a swim or something. Still strange. The thing with Riley Strain, I don't know. According to the lawsuit, he felt pressured. He was feeling pressured, and I could see one of these fraternity places, like there's some nice kid being taken advantage of. They're gonna take him for a ride, and if they're pre-gaming, that pre-gaming can be a mother effer, yo. Pre-gaming, I mean, yes, it's cheaper. You're at the place lit, but man, it's so easy to go overboard too. Pre-gaming. Riley Strain, I wonder what. Let me see if there's video for those that haven't seen it. If you haven't seen the video, there's extended video of this shit. I've never even seen this. Hold on. This was Riley. There's no audio, but there's no audio to this. Make sure. I guess no audio. Okay. So he's at this place. Maybe we should go full screen, I guess. By himself, I guess. Tennessee. Busy, packed. I've never seen this video before. I've seen the video of him walking down the streets and stumbling and even falling. I haven't seen this. I guess this is his group of friends. What's up? I'm telling you, having some good friends can make the difference. Could even, I'd say, even make life and death difference. Seriously, you know. I mean, again, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for yourself, you know. But you know, things happen, especially when you're young. Things happen. Having a good friend, somebody might be like, "Yo, just chill out," or "Yo, let's just take an Uber," or you know, whatever the case is, could save your life. Let's see, I'm not sure what's going on here. So he's paying. Okay, he's going downstairs. Meeting up with more friends. Coming again. He's got another drink, I guess. Wait, what are you? Oh, it's like a Red Bull, looks like, or something. Yeah, Red Bull. Chugging out Red Bull. That's the other thing, too. Sometimes energy drinks, I don't know, man. Drinking alcohol and then mixing caffeine sometimes, oh, man, it just might get you, like, too crazy, you know? Like, oh. Okay, he's at the bar here. Talking with people. All right, let me see if I can find. I wanted to show that video where he's kind of like walking around.
To be clear, the investigation into what happened to Riley Strain is now closed. It was determined that he died by accidental drowning, but this new video obtained from inside Luke Bryan's bar provides some new insight, perhaps, into how things went down that fateful night this past March. For the first time here, you see video of Riley Strain walking unsteadily down the stairs with a security guard who was escorting him out of Luke Bryan's bar. It was the evening of March 8th, and Strain, a 22-year-old student from Missouri, suddenly found himself on his own, alone, on crowded Lower Broad in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, had any one person maybe kind of been like, "Yo, are you okay?" or somebody call the cops or something. But at the same time, like in this environment, people probably see this all the time, you know? So it's like for them.
Student from Missouri suddenly found himself on his own, alone, on crowded Lower Broad in Nashville, under the influence and in an unfamiliar city.
Now, one person, that's crazy too, to like be surrounded, but be alone. Like, you know, like
he disappeared, and 2 weeks later, his body was pulled from the Cumberland River.
My company works on the river. I have just found a dead body. I believe it to be Riley.
There have been questions about what led Strain to be kicked out of the bar, and where were the fraternity brothers who traveled with him to Nashville. This video was obtained from the investigative file. Here you see Strain following a friend in the crowded bar over to a table with the others. They sit for a while, and then Strain follows a friend up to the bar. It is at about this time security sends out this alert warning that Strain was verbally aggressive with staff. Not long after that, an employee points Strain out to a security guard who then goes to talk to him. After a few minutes of conversation, you see Strain's friend trying to get Strain to go back to the table with the others, but he stays. After more talking, the security guard then moves to lead Strain out of the bar, and it appears the friend, in the backwards baseball hat, turns to go tell the others. And that brings us back to the video of the stairway where Strain is led down by the security guard and then out of the bar. By the time Strain's fraternity brothers made it down to try to find him, he was gone. The investigation found no wrongdoing on behalf of the bar, and the video does not raise any new questions. The bottom line, the case is closed. The death was ruled an accident. No foul play.
No foul play. It's crazy and kind of eerie to see that, like just somebody's last moments, you know? I don't know. You know, and sometimes, especially if you're, you know, young and gullible and then you get yourself mixed up with some groups of people, not a good thing. Let me see what else. I guess I kind of wanted to, put maybe a closing chapter on the story we covered yesterday. I didn't expect there to be such quick results, but yeah, the results came in pretty quick for this young kid, 20 years old. Thank God. I mean, you got to thank God to be alive too. If you've had crazy days, You know, I've had some crazy party days. Gotta thank God to be alive, man, because it could have easily been me. One of these crazy stories, you know, in the news or something. And yeah, and sometimes you just gotta be able to leave, man. There's been a couple times back in my day, I just leave. Like, I'm with a group of people, I'm not feeling good, or I'm not feeling it. I don't give a fuck. Bye. No, man, no, man, come on, man. Bye. I just leave. I leave. If I'm not feeling it, something's off, whatever, I'll just leave. I've done it before. Like, and go home with it if I'm not feeling right or I'm not feeling it. And I've been in both situations where you kind of have people that don't really care, and then you have people that are like amazing. It's like, oh shit, it makes a difference, a huge difference. You know, but yeah, I'll leave. I'll leave the party. Go back home. Shit. See you next time. Crazy. Okay, let me see if anything else, Jimmy. Aunt shares update. Yeah, the family did release like a statement, and they basically said something like that. They appreciate everybody, but they're not going to be doing any more interviews. Something like that. They're not going to do any more interviews for now while they, I guess, grieve. But I think the family did the right thing when they were doing interviews and talking, like they, you know, to get attention on this story and get it pushing and put pressure and stuff. And so now I guess that's just the outcome. Odd story. So hopefully they get the rest of the pieces.
Yes, my friends and I stuck together and we would leave together no matter what. Hope all is well. Mel prayers for his family. Praying gesture emoji.
Thank you, Desi. Yeah, I agree. You gotta have some friends like that. And I was thinking, like, especially ladies, but honestly, like these days, man, guys too, man. You guys need to start holding hands. In the club, you guys have to start holding hands, man. Because there's dudes getting drugged. All kinds of stuff happening to these guys, getting drugged and robbed and everything. Buddy system. Times have changed. The guys are targets now. The guys are disappearing and shit. The guys are being drugged and killed or coming up missing and shit. Oh yeah, this was the report too that I saw. This was earlier. This is the Spanish article I was looking at. I'm like, damn, is this true or is it not true? I'm like, what? El cuerpo de Jimmy. I was looking at this article earlier. I'm like, what? The body of Jimmy. Encontraron. Wasn't nobody coming to the hotel with me and the freak I just met. I don't know where they grew up. Where y'all at? Well, that's the thing. You gotta be careful who you're going back with too, man, because sometimes woman will set you up. You know? Crazy times we're in. But I guess that's it. I just want to do a little update on that. You know, Jimmy, James, and I don't know, hopefully people out there, the young people, will be a little bit more cautious. You know, it's spring break. Everybody's getting lit, partying, all that stuff. Jimmy's dead, yeah. Mustard. Times are crazy, yeah, especially now overseas, all this stuff. Trump was tripping today, too. I saw the Japan thing, man. I was like, this. I wish I would have reacted to it live. I was like, this motherfucker's crazy. You guys saw the Japan shit? I think I might have bookmarked it. This is crazy, too. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if you guys saw. Okay, the other day we had a standoff. Hermosa Beach, where there was some streamer harassing me and some other guy. But apparently this Hermosa Beach This is a crazy fucking story, apparently. The brother of a transgender woman accused of murdering an elderly millionaire and squatting in his home for weeks. Okay? This was the person the other day squatted up inside Hermosa Beach. There was a dead body inside. This person's like trans or something, and he had this other person dead in there, squatting in there and shit. Eleanor Bellew, 39, was arrested after a 7-hour siege of the $6.3 million oceanfront in Hermosa Beach. She finally emerged from the home dressed like the Blues Brother and was locked up in county jail under her legal name, Robert Philip Simmons, charged with murder. The decomposing body of a retired property developer, Demetrius Doucoulos, 92 years old, was found inside. What the heck was going on in there? Simmons, 37, was unaware that his sibling was identifying as a woman or going by the name Eleanor. These days, if you're not in touch with your family, who knows what's going on? When you finally catch up, you see some shit like this. Who knows if you're not in touch with your family or friends what's going on? Wow. And this standoff was kind of a quacky standoff. There was something off with it from the beginning of it. I knew something was off. Oh, I should send this to this dude. The young guy that was streaming out there. He's a cool guy. I was teasing the Cali guys, the Cali dudes. He's actually a pretty cool dude. I'm going to send him the article because I don't know if he saw this. Yo, he probably like get a laugh out of this maybe. Like just how crazy it is. Let me see. Where's this guy? Him. Here we go. Just send it to him now. This shit is crazy. I knew something was off. Something wasn't right by that standoff. The guy was harassing me, all this stuff. Wanted me to pay him for using his stream on Citizen and all this stuff. Wow. And so they're saying that the stunned brother declined to say whether Bellew had a history of mental illness or reveal the details of her life before they lost touch. Bellew grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts, and went on to frequent vacations to Tampa, Florida, where her family owned a holiday unit. Her mother, Teresa Simmons, sold the family home after her husband, Robert Simmons Sr., died in 2012. She now lives in Marshfield near Simmons and her two grandchildren in a house owned by her granddaughter-in-laws. Bewley eventually moved to Fresno, California, and bought an 802 square foot one-bedroom apartment for $83,000 in April 2021, but in early 2023, she had defaulted on the mortgage. That's wild to me too. Imagining, I'm not buying an apartment. I guess it's not really like a bad idea. I guess, you know. I mean, I don't know about a one bedroom. That's fucking nuts. But at least you owned it. Props. But imagine defaulting you on it on a one bedroom apartment, 802 square feet. That's nuts. And a trustee was appointed by the lender to foreclose on a property in a one bedroom apartment. Damn. Developer group Compass Homes was the highest bidder at $57,000. What the heck? And sued Bellew on July 7, 2023, claiming she refused to move out. Bellew eventually surrendered the property more than a month later, August 16, 2023. What she did after that is unknown until she was arrested for second-degree robbery in Los Angeles, February 2025. But she was released the next day, and then the charge was later dropped. California, baby. Bellew was then arrested by Redondo Beach, just south of Hermosa, for shoplifting February 23rd and was given a citation. California, baby. Neighbors along the Strand regularly saw Doucoulos relaxing on his front porch, overlooking the Manhattan Beach on the Pacific Ocean. But when he stopped coming out for weeks and the blinds stayed closed, they began to worry. Then they saw a strange man in a suit and a fedora coming in and out. The relationship between Doucoulos and Bellew is, if any, is unknown. And that's what I'm wondering too. What relationship? What was going on in there? How did this person let this other person in? Was it him just being nice? Or I'm letting you stay for favors? You can pay the rent in other ways, if you know what I mean? Or what happened there? She is alleged to have killed him between March 7 and March 14. Doucoulos was for decades a prominent developer of luxury oceanfront properties in Hermosa Beach, many of which were his neighbors. His biggest success was a 5-bedroom, 8-bathroom, 7,000 square feet, 3-story house that sold in Hermosa Beach for $19.5 million in 2023. Holy moly. The property, bought by a veterinarian chain boss, Greg Hartman, featured walls of glass with views stretching from Malibu to Catalina and Palos Verdes. I like that name, Palos Verdes. Green sticks, Palos Verdes. That is nuts. So this person came out in the same blues thing with sunglasses, I think. Is it sunglasses? The hat. Wow. The developer set an earlier local record for $18.4 million in 2017, a huge profit after buying and rebuilding the property for just $9.9 million 3 years earlier. Dokulos also built an almost as big home nearby that was later bought by Rockstar energy drink founder Russell Weiner, who sold it for $14 million in 2020. Most of his biggest sales were secured by real estate agent Raju Chabera, who died last summer. And Dokulos was renting the unit where he was killed from. Wait, what? Who died last summer? Dokulos was renting the unit where he was killed, from Raju's son Neil. Dokulos lived alone since his wife Freda died age 75 in 2012 and sold his own stunning 2,244 square foot 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom home for $7.5 million in 2023. Planning documents reveal that the house will be knocked down and an even bigger 3,608 square feet monastery with a huge roof deck built in its place. He retired, moved into a 2-bedroom unit in Chibata's 6.3 million building, paying $6,900 a month. Holy crap. Chibata said his relationship with his father's old pal was strictly business. That's kind of weird. Yeah, why do you have to say that? Okay. And they hadn't spoken in months. Okay. And had no idea who would want to kill him. Demetrius was very active despite his age and was still driving. He probably built more homes on Hermosa and Manhattan Beach Strand than anyone else. Then last week, the Okulis upstairs neighbor smelled a foul odor coming from the unit. A suspicious person was in the unit and called Chabira's office. Chabria called Hermosa Beach police for a welfare check to investigate the suspicious person. The officers arrived at 12:37 on Saturday. The reporting party stated that a tenant who lives alone had not been heard from in several days. With the assistance of the landlord or the realtor, they granted us access to go inside, and they located somebody that was inside that did not match the description. When officers entered the unit, they saw a woman run into the bedroom and lock the door. The person made some type of statement that she was armed and barricaded inside of the residence. Officers tried to negotiate with Baloo on the phone for hours and called their Hermosa Beach Hawthorne SWAT team. Heavily armed officers flooded the usually quiet street and evacuated surrounding homes as the siege dragged on past sundown and into darkness. Finally, one officer grabbed the bullhorn, warned Baloo that they would force their way in. A SWAT-readied breaching tools. Eleanor, come out with your hands up. This has been going long enough, and they finally surrendered. What a long ass, crazy, weird story. Shout out to Daily Mail for actually researching all this shit. What the hell? Wow. Who wrote this article? Nick White, U.S. Senior Investigations Reporter. Wow. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. And that's kind of what crazy to go out like that. 92 years old. You've lived your life. You're living the dream, I guess. You're at the beach. You sold all these homes. How did you get to know this person? How did you guys come in contact? How did you become acquaintances? How did this person start living with you? Was it just out of the kindness of your heart? Did they somehow scam you into living with you? Was it supposed to be a temporary stay? Was there sexual favors? What happened? Bro, I got to show you something too real quick. My God, I don't know if I should. I should get off. I saw this crazy ass thing. Where's this at here? Which one is it? Is it this one? Yes. My God. I've seen this meme a couple of times, but it's like when you come home and you forgot that you married somebody because of their money. Oh my God, dude.
Hi, baby. You scared me.
I don't know where they got this guy from. I've seen it a couple times. Yo, that's got to be such a crazy situation to be in. Just for the money. ChatGPT.
We both put into.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to get. Did I save Trump? This was crazy. Oh my God. This was another story that kind of stuck out to me a little bit because it's like small plane carrying 7 passengers crashes into crocodile-infested waters in Australia. Not only is it bad enough that you're on this plane and it's crashing, but you crash into crocodile-infested waters, leaving 1 passenger injured as authorities investigate the cause. Also, they survived? The aircraft carrying 2 pilots, 5 passengers was flying low over the horizon at an angle before suddenly disappearing. I saw a story on I don't know if it's like National Geographic or one of these things where there's these group of people were stuck in these waters that was fast moving and it had alligators or hippos or something and they could not move and they were like stuck in some, I think 1 or 2 people got attacked. It was like this crazy survival story. I guess they're alive. The small plane bound for Mangaluru Truscott Airport, more than 400 miles away, was reported engine troubles and plunged into the shallow crocodile-infested waters just 3 minutes after takeoff. Holy moly. So 1 person injured? Yeah, everybody survived. Wow. Very lucky. All right, let me see. Where's Trump at snapping? Oh my gosh, bro. I feel like this, I don't know if this like flew over some people's heads a little bit. The Pearl Harbor comment.
Why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
Bro. I was telling this to my mother and I don't even think she understood it. So this guy, Trump had a meeting with the Japanese prime minister. And then they're taking questions. And this guy is like, why didn't you tell us about you were going to attack Iran? We're allies. Why don't you tell us about that?
Why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right?
Yo, and so if you don't know, Pearl Harbor, Japan attacked us like a naval ship, a naval base, and actually killed a lot of people. And so he was referencing that. Why don't you fucking tell me about that attack? You guys know all about fucking surprises. You're telling me why didn't I tell you about the surprise attack we did on Iran? Not that I support the war. I don't support the war, but I just thought it was like, holy shit, this guy was crazy, man. Oh. And then there's this thing that I kind of like, I'm not into this stuff, but apparently this was like, everybody's talking about this. ABC's Bachelorette caught on camera allegedly attacking her ex-boyfriend and throwing a chair at him, which appeared to hit her child. She threw a chair at him. Oh, I feel like I've heard about this a long time ago. This is new. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. My God, bro, right? Like The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Star is reportedly under investigation for domestic violence. The Draper City Police Department in Utah is investigating the allegations on both sides. After a recent incident, Variety recently reported it's unclear if the police are investigating this incident or a separate one. I had heard that now she's like let go from the show or something.
This is called physical abuse.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yo, she's manhandling his ass. Oh, what's she do? She's choking? She got him in a chokehold?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good he's recording. I
See,
guess.
Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do. Holy
It's okay. I don't give a f.
Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone.
Oh my God. And the kid's right there. That's
Your daughter
nuts.
is right here. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Oh,
God. You are
the kid's crying
This is
too.
called-
That's horrible. But she's Mormon. And she got a nice smile. There's no way. Everybody's talking about the ABC's Black Bachelorette caught on camera. ABC has announced Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette has been canceled. Sweetheart. Sweetheart. I love you. You just never know. Look at the smile, man. Crazy. That's crazy. I feel like we have seen something like that before. Chaos. Yeah, hey, Chaos. I feel like there was a situation one time where there was a woman attacking some guy and like she had chucked something at him and it actually hit the child. I saw something like that. Secret Wives, man. The show itself just tells you right there. Secret Wives of Mormon Lives right there. It tells you right there. Star Taylor Frankie Paul. Wasn't there a Taylor Frankie that was abusive? Or was that the other Frankies? Taylor Frankie? Oh no, I guess. So she's an influencer. I mean, you can kind of tell by the she kind of has a little bit of a crazy look. It's like, I don't care. I don't care who sees it. I don't care that you're recording. Record me. I don't care. Damn, bro. Not even for the kid's sake to have some type of self-control. Or even in the most selfish, like self-preservation, right? Like, all right, well, he's recording me. Let me not suicide my career. If you're not going to care about the kid, you're not going to be a decent person and not put your hands on people. Let me just, at least for self-preservation, selfish reasons, let me protect my image and career. Not even that. I was like, damn. Taylor Frankie. The Bachelorette bent the rules for her. One of the show's most ironclad rules is that the lead and the contestants are not allowed to have a phone during filming. In an interview this fall on the Call Her Daddy podcast, Paul said she had negotiated phone access to keep in contact with her 3 children. Okay, and promote season 3. Ruby Frankie. That's what I was thinking of. Ruby Frankie. We got another Frankie. Another crazy Frankie. Man. Unfortunate. Hopefully, I don't know. Let's see if Michael's been on point with this story. The drowning. I guess they're going to say it's a drowning, I guess. Yep. Well, they're going to have to check and see. They can tell too. It's probably more than likely that's what it is. He drowned and intoxicated. They'll be able to check the lungs if it's filled with water, or if it's not filled. If it doesn't have any water, he was dead before he got in the water. But more than likely, it'll be probably, intoxicated, drowned. I mean, I guess you have to be like really drunk. I just can't imagine. I mean, unless you got caught by like a riptide or something. I don't know how you could like get caught, like drown like that. You know, like I'd be at the shore of the water. Maybe put my feet in. Maybe he went for a swim. Maybe he just started swimming out into the ocean or something. ABC filmed an entire season. Oh, they did the whole season of The Bachelorette before canceling it days before its premiere after TMZ released the video. Oh, the whole season was recorded? Oh. This can't be true, guys. Look at this shit. No, man. Balenciaga is this. It says Balenciaga's going viral after selling this handbag for $1,790. $1,790. There's no way. That's bullshit. It's a trash bag. It's a grocery bag. Trash bag, large pouch. Nah, I wouldn't be surprised though if somebody buys that. Yeah, Nancy's still missing, man. Nancy. Nah, that story doesn't make any sense to me. I started doubting everything from the very beginning, the timeline and everything. Once all this stuff came out, the new finding out that pictures were on different days and stuff. Let me see. I guess that's it for now. Japan knows about surprises. This lady, her facial reaction too when Trump was saying this shit, she just kind of
because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl?
Bro, the look at her face.
Pearl Harbor. Okay, right? He's asking me. No, you believe in surprise. I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did.
Damn, bro, he might get 50 lashes. That reporter that asked that, he might put him in a work camp. He might never come back again to report when they get back to Japan. Yeah, ship him to North Korea. Oh yeah, I heard Cuba got their power back somehow. I don't know, they got power again. Did you guys see that missile too? Yo, this was going viral today. There's so much stuff that I just don't even get to cover or clip or anything because it's just too much. I'd never be able to do anything if I were able to catch everything. But check this shit out if you haven't seen it. This is crazy. I don't know why this is reversed though. It's flipped. Somebody flipped it, but let's see.
Attacks were reported against Naharia and admitted. Fucking hell.
How crazy is that?
Fuck.
This was in Lebanon.
Where?
Damn. Time to quit. Time to retire. If you could do it, retire. So, yeah. And there's a lot of drama going on the online world. We'll see where it goes. People are posting. People are talking. We'll see where that stuff goes. I guess I'm going to get off for now. I will catch you guys later if anything pops off. Hope Hope you guys are having a good week. It's spring break for me. I know people have spring break at different times. My daughter has spring break, but a friend of mine that's in Florida too, up north, they have theirs next week. So I guess it's like different weeks, I guess. So, but we have our spring break this week. So I've been on cruise control. We were at the pool earlier, just kind of taking it easy, chilling, you know. So, but I'll catch you guys later, all right? Peace. Bye. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Fire.